Good morning. So I'm Lila Bennett from Journey to Recovery with Melissa, we are your SAPs here, and we're here to do a follow-up with you about Chris Herren and how that resonated with you, what you've been thinking about, what you're thinking about for the future, and we have some questions that we're going to go through. But first, I just want to say it was such a beautiful day. Part of what was so beautiful for me was watching all of you, seeing how you were listening and you were engaged and you were just so ready for what Chris had to say. And that it wasn't so much about substance use, it wasn't so much about drugs and alcohol, of course it was, but it was more about all of the things that you're facing every single day in your lives. It's about struggle in general. It's about confidence. It's about figuring out who you are and who you want to be. And, the best part for me was seeing how we all became a little closer that day, where the differences melted away and understanding and compassion and kindness came in its place. And so many of you are trying to make sense of your own relationship with drugs and alcohol, your family members' relationships, your friends' relationships with drugs and alcohol, and what that means and how to navigate this. And we all became more of a community. And our hope is that we will continue this, that we will build on our likenesses to help us each become who we are and proud of who we are, and that we can let our differences, fall to the background a little bit more. And Melissa is just going to say one quick thing before we dive in, because I know we only have a few minutes.
I just wanted to say thank you to the Chris Herren students, the club. I'm so proud of each and every one of you. You have learned, you have grown, you have learned these skills. You're becoming leaders. You found your voice that day and you walked across stage and you united and you brought people together. I watch you every day being kind, reaching out, trying to make a difference. And I do have something to say. If anybody is interested in joining our club, come see what we're about. Build this community. These kids, they have something to say, and they are a hand reaching out to you. And if you feel like you need to mock them, kind of remember what Chris Herren had to say. We are trying to build a community that is healthy and that helps each other. We're not here to judge. We're here to reach out and to help your fellow man. So again, I just wanted to say to each one of you, Chris Herren kids, I am so, so proud of you. You students are amazing, and keep doing what you're doing. We need you. And anybody wants to join us, Wednesdays, today, 2:20 in room 220 in the health. Come on by, please.
And the last thing I want to touch on too quickly before we get into the questions is just like, if you find yourself judging, really ask yourself, what are you lacking that's making you project that onto someone else? It's really interesting when we do get into judging other people, and it's an opportunity to humble yourself and really look at what's lacking that you could grow and build in your own self if you feel like you have to put somebody else down. So this is all about connection and understanding. So we have a couple questions. We have 5 questions. We're going to do 2 minutes each question and 1 minute of reflection. So we got to snap along. And so the first question, I'm going to open up the Google Doc and take 2 minutes and just type in there, what was your impression before the presentation? What did you think it was going to be like? Were you looking forward to it? Were you curious? Were you dreading it? Go ahead. Hopefully you guys can write in there. Oh, nobody can write? Oh dear.
Okay, where's the tab? I just need to go to the tab.
Yeah, open up the drive doc in your
Is it that one?
Okay.
Now when you go to share,
Lila, you might be able to change the editing
And
settings
then
too if you get to
change
the doc before I do.
there you go.
So anyone with the link can edit.
There we go.
Okay.
You're muted still.
Did you get it?
Thing.
All set.
Awesome.
Go ahead. And I'll just read them off as you're typing them to save us time. We thought it would be boring. I thought it would be bad. We thought it would be triggering, and it was. Students were dreading it, thought it would be boring. These things are always boring. Yeah. Some were anxious. We were not really sure. We thought it would only be about drugs. Some missed school intentionally because they didn't want to attend. Yeah.
Mm. We were worried that the students wouldn't act appropriately.
We weren't expecting so much honesty.
Mm.
Hell yeah. It was real. That's what we wanted. And then we thought it was only the video and didn't know he was actually here.
Just thought it was somebody saying, just don't do drugs. They
Thought it would be more about basketball. Thought it would be a joke and tiptoe around serious issues. We've got about 30 seconds. We thought it would be another presentation where it was blanket statements without real context, and we were not excited about it.
Thank you for your honesty. Thank you for your input.
It was impactful that he started with the first day of his addiction. Yeah. Not the last. Worried about how some students were going to treat Chris or react to him. Okay.
Good job.
Yeah. Thank you. Those are all such honest answers and such a mix. I didn't hear or see a lot of really can't wait for this. It was getting ready for the same old. And the reason that we chose Chris was because he is not the same old. And this isn't just another don't do drugs conversation. That you guys don't need that, and that's obvious, and that you are handling real stuff. And we wanted to give you the respect to give you a real presenter. All right, so I'm just going to read one more. Helpful that he talked about the first time, not just the last time.
Yes.
Absolutely. Keep typing those in. Feel free. We're going to go into the second question. Okay, what happened while you were watching it? What feelings and thoughts did you have? If you were a person who went in dreading it and you found yourself interested, how long did it take for you to be interested, and do you remember the turning point? Of course, we only have 2 minutes, so answer what you can.
A single tear fell.
I can't even read
Yeah.
that.
The video got us interested.
It was really powerful. and good to have an in-person presentation with a real person.
This is amazing seeing these all come in.
I got interested when Chris started to talk about his own experience. The first impression was great. It was great to have an in-person presenter. I liked watching him talk. We really liked the video. It was engaging and told the story, not just a lecture, a recap from him.
When he tripped, I acted like a real person. Yes.
He talked about that after in the car. He was like, I think that they really believed me. He said he almost fell all the way over, too. Okay, we dreaded it, but a few minutes in, it felt like a whole different kind of presentation. Not seeing the kids on their phones and paying attention was great.
Yes.
That was powerful. For people watching you all, it was one of the most beautiful things that I've ever seen.
Yes.
He talked about how he himself would have skipped something like this.
I thought about my family relationships. Yeah.
There was one, I saw many people crying. It was very real.
And crying is okay.
Yeah. Because this is about being us and being real people. That we're all going to face like great disappointment in our lives. We are all going to have things that we don't know how to handle and how to cope with. And if you start now by not going and vaping in the bathroom, not getting drunk at the party, you will find more resilience inside yourself.
More compassion for each other.
He talked like a real person, Dad, not a lecturer.
Yes.
We are about 10 seconds. When he began speaking, I was more invested. Very personable and relatable, emotion brought up from past and thinking and friends and family.
Yes.
It is all so true. He was very legit. He was legit, and I think as you guys go forward in your lives, remember this. Remember that, what captured your attention, what built your trust in him was his authenticity. So when you catch yourselves trying to pretend or be something that doesn't feel true to you, stop. Because it never works. Like, it might take time for you to find your tribe and your people and whatever, but the more you just stay you, the better you will do. Let's hop right into question 3. Now that it has been almost a week, what feelings and thoughts are you left with? What stuck with you? If you find yourself thinking about it from time to time, what are you thinking about? Yourself? Your friends? Or your family? It was interesting. His testimony. It left an impact on people.
It was interesting.
Definitely thought about myself, friends, and family.
Good.
His worry for his kids was impactful, especially his youngest kid who didn't know him as an addict. I have thought about that a lot myself.
Yes, I as well. Yeah. And the different parenting that happened between that child and
The other two.
the other two.
It left an impact on people because some people will think back to how he's a normal person. Yes. And he worked hard and he had opportunities and he still struggled with his identity. I mean, that's really what this is about, is that it doesn't matter, who you are, or what your opportunities are. If you're struggling with your identity, you gotta dig deep Some students were clearly impacted and have developed plans moving forward.
Yes.
Others have tried to make light of the presentation, probably out of their own insecurity. Absolutely. And if you are one of them, that's okay. But someday, think about it. Just think about it a little more. Even though he was a big-time basketball player, behind closed doors, he was really struggling. From a student, they don't want to be like their parent.
As a
And
teacher, I'm
that's
surprised.
real.
I'm sorry to see how many of the students are impacted by addiction. Yes, and your teachers and your counselors were just so amazing. I just have to say that. I mean, you were so supportive. The school is amazing.
And I think that one is so important because students, we want you to hear that you are not alone. There are so many of you. And that's okay. I mean, it's not okay, but it is okay because there's a community here behind you. We're all doing this together. All right, we got time to read one more.
The warriors are those who avoid the addiction. That's quite a statement.
That is a statement. And, you know, I think that's something maybe you can all think about and figure out what that would mean to you. You know, are you going to be at a party and think, this stuff is addictive. I don't even want to tempt it. You know, that's one way to look at it.
And that is a warrior.
Yes. Because it's hard to be different. It's so hard to be different. But it's so liberating when you finally go for it. All right, question number 4. Do you feel you have enough support to understand all the feelings and thoughts you may be having? What do you need that you don't feel you have access to? That one's a little harder.
It is
and it's
hard.
kind of a vulnerable question.
We're asking you to be honest so that we can help. That we're listening. We're sitting here listening.
And we are starting a journey support group. So the Chris Herren Club is Wednesdays. That's for like outreach, education, talking about addiction, all that kind of stuff. The Monday group is for people who want plain and simple support for themselves, their friends, or their families. 2:20 on Mondays. Depends on the day whether I have enough support.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's true. And you know that there's the Wellness Center. There is us. We're here in the library. You don't feel you've got enough support, you come find us.
Oh, a support animal in the school.
Ooh. Depending on how serious the feeling, conversations, we have parents, guidance counselors, friends. Yep.
Good.
We think we have plenty of support in our community. Yeah, I mean, I think that one thing that your community is doing that was so obvious to us is that we are trying. We are trying to be here for you. We want you to leave North Country High School with a sense of self, a sense of security, a sense of how to ask for help, a sense of understanding of mental health, a sense of understanding of substance use and addiction. That's what this is about.
Giving you a foundation to be able to move forward in your life and be successful.
Yes, but it may be difficult in the summer. Yes, well, you can call, you can message the Journey to Recovery Community Center Facebook page anytime. We monitor that page, I'm not going to say in the middle of the night, but basically we're on it. If you don't have anywhere else to turn, you message us there, and students have been doing that. Support groups will be a great resource to bring students with their own stories and experiences. Mondays at 2:20. I feel like I can't get into the group that hangs out with the drug abuse counselors. Come talk to us and we'll unpack that.
We'll tell you what recovery coaching is all about.
Yeah. We've got about 30 seconds. From a student, we have lots of resources, but students misuse them and they are overwhelmed and therefore ineffective. Well, that's really good feedback, and let's figure that out so that people who need it, that sounds like someone who needs something they're not getting. It is more difficult during vacations or weekends when you don't have access to that support.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. Maybe we need to come up with some plans for anyone who feels that way. Fridays, we come up with a plan. Okay, we're on to the last and final question. Promise this weekend. How can you be an example to your friends and lead the way to finding activities that don't have to do with drugs or alcohol? Do you think Chris Herren will cross your mind if you were offered a drink or a vape or a drug? He is such an example of success. He is teaching his kids to be successful in the same way. Remember, success comes not from checking out, but from checking in. How do you feel you will stay strong in the face of any pressures to party that may come up? What can you remind yourself that will make it worth it to not use substances? And I know we're just about out of time, so just go for it.
Second bell rang.
Oh, did everybody leave?
Maybe.
A lot did, but there's still some on. But
Okay.
you may not get some response time.
Okay.
We can have them fill this one out later.
That's a
maybe we could do that tomorrow as part of our prompt for pod. So we'll do that tomorrow.
Okay. That sounds good.
So it won't be live, but you'll at least get some feedback.
Okay, thank you,
Thank
everybody. Oh, wait. Where is it?
Can I say something to the community?
Anyone who watched and is listening, thank you so much for being a part of this. We want you to know that we're bringing this awareness to the school, but we're also bringing this awareness to the community that Journey to Recovery is a peer support recovery center there for people who are struggling with addiction, adults, teenagers, parents, grandparents, aunts, uncles, cousins, friends. We are skilled, we are trained, we have been there, we understand what it takes to pull yourself up from the most horrific depths. We've had to do it. It's hard, and it's brave, and it's completely possible.
And we're here. We're here. We're right here.
And that means here is 212 Prouty Drive. It's right across from the hospital. Our phone number is 802-624-4156. Our website is www.jtr-cc.org. All of our groups are on our website. Follow our Facebook page, Journey to Recovery Community Center. We are active. You can message that page. We check it. We check it very, very regularly. We are responsive. We are here for you.
Thanks for watching. Thank you,
Yeah.
because it's going to take a whole community. Thank
Yeah.
you.